Hello, in this section, we'll look at in depth how to define a method. To define a method, you have to give the name of a method and the list of the parameters, if any. And if method return value, we're going to have to specify what the value, the data type is for that value. And the modifier and the method is some of the modifiers and are the public, static. So for now, we use all the methods, public, static. And we already know what is public. It is to make your method available to the public, and the static, and we'll talk about it more in the future. For now, just write it static. This is static method. Here's the name, is max, and there's two parameters, num1 and num2, both are int type, and it returns int. So what it does is to return the max between the two numbers. That's the definition. And so here, let's look at more details now. What's the name of the method? It is max. And what is the, these are called the formal parameters. So these are the formal parameters. These are like a placeholder. And when you call this method, you can replace it with the actual value. This altogether, the parameters is called a parameter list. So this is all together. And what is the method signature? So this is the term. The method signature is this, is consisting of name and the parameter list. And this is the return value type. It's int. And this is the entire thing. It's called a method header. And this is the body of the method. And in this, we have a return because you have a return value from the max return type is int. So this is return is required. And this is how you invoke it. It is called the method max, and with the actual values, you're going to pass the value of x to num1 and the value of y to num2 to invoke it. All right, so let's look at this now. We're going to write this code now to use it. So I'm going to go to look at the next one here, is to write a test program and to put all things together now. So this is the test program, test max. So let's see how it works now. You can change the values here. So now this is 5, 2, you can change it to any integer. And see how it works. So this is now the first time we have this, a class has more than one method. So this is the main, and also we have the max here. And from the main, we're going to call the max. So let's see how it works now.
The program starts the execution from the main method. The statement assigns 5 to variable I. The statement assigns 2 to variable j. The statement will invoke the max method and assign the return value from the method to k. Check your understanding. Note that in all code animation, you can use mouse or finger to move highlight, explanation, output, and check your understanding box freely. Is the value of I passed to num1 when invoking max, I, j? Answer yes or no.
So the value of I is passed to num1, and the value of j is passed to num2.
You are correct. Let us continue to see how it works. The max method is invoked. The values of I and j are passed to num1 and num2.
From now on, the control of this program execution is at max.
Variable result is declared. The condition, num1 is greater than num2, is tested. It is true in this case. Num1 is assigned to num2. The result will be returned from the max method. The max method is finished.
The max method is finished with return. So it's returned back to its caller. This is the value from calling max ij.
The returned value is assigned to variable k.
And now 5 is assigned to k. And
The
this
statement displays the result.
is the overall picture of how a method is invoked and how values are passed to invoke this method. Now, here's a diagram. See, this is the main method. It invokes max by passing the value of I to num1, pass the value of j to num2. And this is return to finish the max method. Now, this is just a caution. You need to know that if you write the program like this, sign, to get the sign of this integer, if it's positive, return 1. If it's 0, return 0. Else, now, don't write if here. Just simply say return -1. Because with this if here, the compiler may give you an error message. Actually, will give you error message that says that your method sign may not return the value, but here it says int, but you don't have a return because the compiler says is if. What happens all this if they are all false and then you don't have a return value. So the compiler is not intelligent. It doesn't know the contents of your code. No, make sure you always have a case that return a value. Now, this illustrates how the program is executed using the call stack. So when a method is executed, the method is put into the call stack. So this is it is called activation record for each method, activation record. So when you start this program here, and the main method is put into the stack, it's activation record for the main method. And now when main method invokes the max is on the top of the stack, is pushed right here. And so all the local variables and the parameters are stored here. And now after it's finished, so it's going to return. And it's pop out of stack. The max is gone. So now main remains and finish whatever in the main. And after main is finished and the stack is empty. That is all for those two sections. See you on the next section.